I live alone now because my wife had to go into assisted living. I also live on a very tight budget because my wife had to go into assisted living. We're using her IRA and Social Security and annuity money to pay for the assisted living, along with some help from our kids. But it's still a fair amount of money, and I'm on a tight budget. Nevertheless, there's things that I want to do in my home. One of the problems I have is my garage door. I'm concerned about somebody breaking in through that. Not that I have much to steal. I don't even have a TV anymore. Not because I couldn't afford a TV, they're pretty cheap now, but because I just don't watch TV much, and when I do want to watch it, I can watch it on my iPad. Or actually, I've got a Apple TV box over in the corner, and that one has a bigger monitor on it, so I could sit there and watch it on a bigger screen if I wanted to. But regardless, I'm still worried about people breaking in through the garage. It is an old garage controller with an outside keypad to let me in, and those things are apparently fairly easy to hack nowadays, so I don't want to run the risk of somebody breaking in while I'm away, or worse, while I'm here. So I thought about first, because I read a stupid article about putting a smart plug where the controller for the garage door, the motor for the garage door is plugged in. So the idea is that you would use the smart plug to shut off the power to the garage door motor. Well, that may be fine where it's warm, but it's not fine in cold New England. Remember that global warming doesn't say that cold air can't slip down here from the Arctic. It can, and it does, and it can get quite cold here. So the problem with cold on electronics is it can be caused of malfunction. It doesn't usually break it forever, but until it warms up, it may not work at all. So you certainly don't want the garage door having no power when it's cold out. Now, it's not the most horrible thing in the world. I could come in through the front door and go out into the garage and climb up on a ladder and unplug the thing and plug it into the regular thing, and then I'd be able to use it all right. But yeah, I'm 78 years old. I don't want to do that. I don't want to go up on a ladder at all, really. So I do have a smartwatch, a Apple Watch. It's a Ultra 2, in fact. And if I fell and fell hard enough, it would notify everybody that I fell, would notify 911, it would notify my kids and my wife, and everybody would know that I fell, and they'd know if I was taken to the hospital and all that stuff. But still, I don't want to be doing stuff like that. So anyway, the smart plug, not a great idea. I didn't like that idea because of it. So instead of preventing the door from opening, I thought, why not put an alarm on it? And you know the problem with alarms. Most of them you got to wire in, and you got to have a central service sometimes, or they're just not very good. However, I am familiar with Yolink, YOLINK.com. If you're not, they make all kinds of things, remote sensors, temperature sensors, humidity, water, all kinds of things like that, that can give you a remote reading across tremendous distances and work fine in cold weather, and the batteries last, well, not forever, but for years. I've had one down in my crawl space underneath this manufactured home for several years now, and the battery is still showing 3/4 of its power. It works fine. Yolink is a little expensive to get into at first, just a little bit. You need a hub. Once you have a hub, you can add any of the Yolink sensors to it. And one of the things that they make is a garage door opening sensor. And all it is something that sticks onto the garage door on the inside. And if the thing starts to move, it says, hey, I'm moving. And it knows the direction it's moving, of course, so it knows whether it's opening or closing. And it can notify you on your phone or your iPad. You can also add a siren to this, and you can tell it if you move, then turn on the siren. And you can tell it to shut off the siren after 2 minutes or whatever you want to do. You can do some if-then. If it's after 10 o'clock at night, go ahead and turn the siren on. If it's before 10 o'clock at night and I'm home, don't turn the siren on, just notify me. And so on and so on. There's a lot of things that you can do with it. I believe that it will also work with if this, then that, if I remember correctly. So that's another possibility that you could use with this. So this does not disable the garage door in any way. It just lets me know that somebody opened it. Of course, it's going to let me know when I open it too. Well, not when I'm home, but otherwise, I guess it would. How would it notify me if I'm? No, it can't. If I do it, if I do it, I'm going to be home. So I think that's a good idea. Now, the Yolink stuff is not particularly expensive or particularly cheap. I think it cost me about $70 to get the siren and the garage door alarm. So there it goes, and I think that's a better solution for me. And I'm going to shut this down now. Watch this.